You've just entered a Strong Labs, the place to break down barriers and build up your cyber skills. What is going on, cyber warriors? Jason Strong back with another video, and today we're going to be doing some TryHackMe. I hope you guys are ready because the advent of Cyber 2025 is here, and we are going to be starting off on day one doing the first room, Linux CLI Shells Bells. The description says we're going to be using the Linux command line interface and using it to unveil Christmas mysteries. So right here, these are some of the walkthroughs that I was talking about, the daily walkthroughs that TryHackMe will have, and I will also have my daily walkthrough. So pick your poison. All right. So working with the Linux CLI, the task one was really just an introduction on what the room is. Um, Talking about the theme, learning objectives, and then how to start up your room, or if you're using a VPN, how to connect to that. But we are going to be using the attack box, so we're not going to use a VPN. I'll be back when this loads up. All right, so I think the room's opening up now. Yes. All right, let's go. Working with the Linux CLI. So basically, this is telling us that we're just going to be working in the command or in the terminal, the command line interface, which is this is giving us a couple commands that we can run just to get a little feel. Echo hello world. This is going to echo or print out basically what you typed after the word echo. So echo, and then in quotations we have hello world exclamation. So it printed out hello world. I don't think you really need the quotations. It's probably just because it still worked the same, but maybe just for I don't know, like syntax sake, maybe just to keep things neat. They recommend using the quotations. I just never have. I'm not really a Kali Linux pro, so I'm just saying what I've done. LS is to list files. We've talked about this before. Same thing as dir on command prompt or on Windows. And then it says after that, type cat readme dot text. And then this is the readme that is on the folder that is in the file. So now we're navigating the file system. It's asking us to switch to the guides directory, the guides folder. Um, One thing that I want you guys to know is when you're using like a Linux terminal, definitely like when you're in TryHackMe's rooms, all these when you're in the home directory of a user, they always have usually they always have a desktop directory, a documents directory, downloads, music, pictures, public, and videos, and I believe templates as well. But what usually isn't there is guides. That is just something to keep in the back of our minds. We're gonna see that I think in the next thing that we do because it is asking us to change directory to guides because this I think this is something that I mean right here McSkitty told us that she wrote a security guide for us, but it was hidden in plain view. Right, so it's in the guides folder. We're going to ls to list the files or list anything. Nothing shows up, but we know that it's hidden. So hypothetically we should be able to use ls hyphen a, and then it's going to show us the guide. So now we are going to cat to open up the file. Or actually, before I do that, I think down here, TryHackMe also has ls hyphen la, and la shows you like what permissions you have on the folder or what or who like the file the file owner is. Right here, we have read write permissions. McSkitty's the owner. All right, let's open .guide.text. King Malhare from Hopsec Island is preparing for an attack. Not sure what his goal is, but exploits on our servers are not good. Be ready to protect Christmas by following this Linux guide. Check var log and grep inside, and let the logs become your guide. Look for eggs that want to hide. Check their shells for what's inside. All right, TryHackMe. That's a couple little bars right there. All right. And this is our first flag of the day, of the year. Which CLI command we use to list a directory? We were just using that earlier. ls. Maybe. I think this is new. TryHackMe's trying to like add like a new feature. I guess when you type in what you're supposed to get the flag, it automatically detects it. But for some reason, it's not showing up on mine. Identify the flag inside. It doesn't let me type it either. We just found the flag, so I'm gonna refresh the page and hopefully it shows up. If it doesn't, I'll just retype it. Okay. Cat guide.text. There we go. Which command helped you filter the logs for failed logins? All right, so now I think what we're going to be doing is filtering the logs, the var logs for failed logins. So let's cd to var log. Oops. It's ls to see what they got for us, and then we're gonna be looking at for failed logins. So authentication logs. I'm going to use grep grep is the command that we use to find like specific words or text inside a file. We'll put the quotations here so we can specify the two words that we're looking for. A little phrase. I'm not stuck. Thank you though. Failed password is what we're looking for, and then we're going to be searching in the auth.log file. All right, and now we're getting a bunch of lines that match our search parameters. Failed password, and that's why it appears in red right here. Another way that you can use grep, which is the way that honestly I use it. I've never used it this way that TryHackMe showed it. It's similar, but let's say I want to cat the auth log, and then I'll pipe into it. Grep failed password. I think this is going to give us the same output. Yeah, it gives us the same output. But that way is the way that I've always done it. Um, okay, now let's scroll back up to the top of this. And you can see a lot of failed logins on the Sockmas account, all from the Hopsec location. So, failed password for Sockmas from Eggbox, IP address / domain name, and then port, and telling us it's using SSH2. Okay, so I guess they were trying to brute force from this machine, and it didn't work. All right, and then what if? So they were clearly trying to break into Sockmas. What if Bad Bunnies left some malware there? Let's follow McSkitty's guide and look for exploits and eggshells with find, a command that searches for files with specific parameters, such as name. All right, so similar, not kind of similar to how we use grep. We're gonna use find, but so we're gonna find in this directory because they just told us where we're going to be looking. And then search for anything that matches the name egg. So any file that has the name egg in it is what it's going to return to us. In this directory, home sockness. And there's one, eggstrike.sh. .sh, I think that's just like a shell, a shell file. Um, let's see what's. Let's see what they want us to do. Files with the sh extension contain CLI commands are often shell scripts. Scripts, that's the word I was looking for. Scripts are used by both IT teams to automate things and by attackers to quickly run malicious commands. Let's display suspicious script contents and try to understand it. All right, so it wants us to cat what is inside this file. All right, so basically, I think what this command is doing is that it's opening the wishlist.txt and then sorting them, and then finding unique words or whatever gifs, finding like unique gifs, and then exporting them into the dump.txt, and then removing wishlist and echo Christmas is fading. Um and I think that just does that at the same time. I don't remember what the and does, but it basically removes the wishlist.txt and then puts in Christmas is fading. And then it moves eastmas.txt to where wishlist.txt was, I guess, and then puts Eastmas is fading. And then here's our flag right here, Carrot Bane attacks. Oh, it tells us right here. The lines starting with hashtag are just comments and not the actual commands. The cat wish list text sort unique, list unique items from the wish list. Then the command sends the output to the unique orders to the dump file. And then the RM wishlist text deletes the wishlist file. And then the move Eastmas replaces the original file with eastmas.txt. Okay. So they're trying to ruin Christmas, basically. So this is giving us a little bit of a rundown on what those commands mean, what those special symbols mean. I kind of explained the pipe, the output redirects, and then the double ampersand. Run the second command if the first was successful. So not do them simultaneously, but do them if the first one worked. Okay. Now it is clear that the server has been breached, although you have no clue what happened to Muscady. At least you know the attacks were there. You can see how Sir Carrot Bane replaced the wish list by visiting that URL. All right, let's paste. See what they got for us. Sir Carrot Bane. Uh oh. Uh oh. Chocolate egg assortments, assorted sizes and flavors, hand painted decorative Easter eggs. I guess our page is just getting defaced. This is crazy. The next part is telling us about system utility tools that we can use, uptime, IP address to check your IP, PS aux to see your services or processes. And you may also want to check the usernames and hash passwords of users, such as McSkitty, by running cat etc shadow. However, you need root permissions to do that. Okay? Root is the default. ultimate Linux user who can do anything on the system. So literally anything you want, you can do as root. You can switch the user to root with sudo su and then return back to Mixkitty with the exit command. Only root can open Etsy Shadow and edit system settings, so this user is often a main target for attackers. If at any moment you want to verify your current user, just run who am I. Alright, so let me close this. It's kind of hurting my eyes. But that was just giving us a little rundown on SU, roots, and the Etsy Shadow. So we're going to run sudo su, or actually, let me. So at first, before I run that, I'm gonna run who am I, and then it's gonna say McSkitty. But then I'll do sudo su. If I do who am I again, now I'm root. So now I can do anything I want on this computer without having to enter a password. Um, Now what am I doing here? Did you know that every command you run is saved in a hidden history file called bash history? It is located at every user's home directory. Okay. You can check it with a convenient history command or just read the file directly. So this tells us, oh, I didn't do this. This tells us some things that have been ran. I don't know what. I didn't know what that was, but okay. Um Nice. So that's what we find as root. Let me open another tab. As McSkitty. And then let's do history as McSkitty. Let's see if there's anything nice there. This is I think what all that we typed. I didn't do this. Eddie Knapp. Oh, I think that's another user. What command helped you filter the logs for failed logins? We did that earlier when we were looking for failed. I think it was failed logins or something. Failed passwords. Grep. That was what we used. And then which command would you use to run to switch? Would you run to switch the user to the root user sudo su, as we just did? What flag did Sir Carrot Bane leave in? Right here. So on this screen where I opened it as root, I ran the history command because TryHackMe told me to, and then I found this. For those who consider themselves intermediate and want another challenge, check McSkitty's hidden note and to get access to the key for side quest 1. All right. For side quest 1, I will be dropping a video at like a later date, but right now I'm just not going to drop a video. And also this was like a whole video. This little side quest was a little mission, you know? But thank you guys for joining me on this lab and this walkthrough, and please keep your eyes peeled for more videos as we go through the Advent of Cyber 2025.